I think we've discussed in other episodes that there is a deprecation coming up of mTLS, that you're not going to be able to use a client auth EKU in a server certificate, and you can't have server certificates that sit on your machines that also serve as client certificates. They have to be separate certificates moving forward. We want to do probably what is a brief episode and just talk through Sectigo's deprecation plan for this. So 3 dates that I want to walk you through. The first one is the final date. The final date is June 15, 2026. That is the date, as of that date, that you cannot issue a public server certificate, a TLS certificate, with a client auth EKU, or you'll be in violation of the Google Chrome root program. Your certificate will be misissued. You will have a bug, and you will need to revoke the certificate.
Tim, I believe on a webinar you and I did on this very topic a little while ago, we had a really good question. So I'm going to bring up that question, which is the grandfathering. Mm-hmm. So in other words, if you have acquired a client authentication certificate before that date,
yes,
it will live until the certificate expiry.
Absolutely correct. And let's clarify that. That is the last date for issuance.
Yes.
There is no initiative right now, nothing to suggest that those certs will not be able to live their full term. Now, their full term at that time will be 200 days. So they will be able to live as long as 200 days.
There you go. It's the last date. You can get a new one.
A new one, correct. There's nothing to suggest that the old ones will be killed. Now, as an interesting little nuance, that actually means that a 398-day client auth EKU cert that you issue on March 14 will outlive a 200-day client auth cert issue that you issue, but that's just a little artifact of the step down.
By the way, here's what just popped into my mind, and it's kind of funny. You and I literally just recorded a podcast on how all these things are coming together at the same time.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's an example of it.
They're coming together, at the exact same time. Let's throw some PQC in there while we're at it. So that's the first date, right? June 15, 2026, all done.
From Sectigo.
From everybody. That is the world. There will be any public CA that it gives you that cert after that day. That cert is misissued, will be revoked, and there will be an incident, right? So let's hope and assume that no CAs will be doing that, because they shouldn't be. Now let's back up a month, okay? May 15, 2026. That is Sectigo's hard deadline for issuing client auth certs. We will stop.
All right.
And the reason for that is because there needs to be an opportunity for something like a rollback. God forbid, if an unforeseen technical problem arises, we've given ourselves 30 days to turn it back on, deal with it, turn it off again. And if need be, do that multiple times. What you don't want to do is you don't want to roll around to June 14. You push the code live, something bad happens, and I just plain can't give you a cert. Right? So this is a best practice. This is a thing we do very commonly. Now, the next date, the third date you need to know about, is September 15, 2025. And that is the scream test date. So what's been happening is going all the way back essentially to the beginning of this year. We have been aggressively communicating with our subscribers to say, this is coming, this change is coming, you need to get off of client authentication. And what we hear back from our subscribers almost universally is, gotcha, boss, it's all handled, not going to be a problem. Now, we know from experience that very frequently enterprises are complex. Environments are complex. Users are complex. The certs they're using, they have certs they don't even know they're using. We know from experience what will happen is they will believe it's all resolved because everything that they have visibility on is resolved to the extent that they have that knowledge. And they're going to find out that it's not resolved when it stops working. And doesn't matter what projects or things they have in advance of that, they're not going to know until it stops working. We have seen this the hard way. And so as a policy, what we do is we implement major changes like this well in advance in what we call the scream test phase. And how the scream test phase works is for any enterprise account, it can be toggled off. So on September 15, 2025, everybody's going to start getting certs without the client authentication. Most of them are never going to notice, never going to care. A few of them are going to say, hey, something stopped working. And then when they contact us, we will flip their switch, start giving them certs with the client authentication and say, okay, you got 30 days to fix it. Right. And then I'm turning you off again. And then they'll fix it. We'll turn them off again. And then something downstream will break. And they'll say, hey, I got to fix this one too. We'll turn it back on. We'll give them 30 days to fix it. We'll turn it off. This has been a strategy we've used for years at Sectigo. It is extremely effective. But what it means is that there is a very early date. And I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's October 1. I said right. September 15. It's October 1. As of October 1, we're going to start issuing these certs. We know from experience and the research we've done that far in excess of 99% of these certs are going to do exactly what they're supposed to, and people are not even going to know that something is different. And this tiny little small fraction of 1% of certs are going to have an issue, and we're going to deal with it. So the purpose of this conversation here is to make sure that our subscribers, people in the Sectigo family, understand that this is coming and these are the 3 phases that it's coming in. So that you know, starting now, we're going to help you detect problems. We've got between now and May 15 to fix those problems. You know, after May 15, it's hard cutover. And after June 15,
right,
no more, period.
It's funny how this, you know, when we started to talk about this earlier this year, it seemed like a while away. And we're going to start the first phase of this in weeks of this recording.
Yeah.
By the time you see this podcast.
Yeah, hopefully by the time you see this podcast, it's not yet October 1, but you know, we've talked about in the past, this isn't real time, right? We're not a real-time news agency. There is some production gap in there. So it will, you know, hopefully it'll be prior to October 1. Let's make a point of making this one be prior, but you know, it'll be coming up.
Yeah. No, that is an important point.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. So be aware. And again, if you have this problem, we can turn off that bit for you, get the problem fixed, and turn it back on. That's part of the process. Contact us if that's a problem and we'll do it. But if we don't implement this process now, then what's going to happen is when these problems are discovered, it's going to be too late. And enterprises will have outages. And they'll have fire drills and they'll have people scrambling around. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to save you that pain.
Thank you, Tim. I'm gonna propose, Tim, we end it on this note.
Okay.
Which is something we said at an earlier podcast today as we were recording. Taking inventory of your certificate, the total sum of all your certs, being able to answer the question, which of my certs are TLS server certs, which of my certs are TLS client authentication certs, that is just something that you have to be doing immediately.
So much of this is solved with a true inventory. So much of this is solved with true certificate agility. The trouble is we're realistic enough to understand that the instance of true comprehensive certificate agility or true comprehensive certificate inventory in the real world is nearly zero. And knowing that, we are taking pragmatic measures to guide our subscribers through this process without them having a really bad day. All right, that's it.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Jason.